Okay, John, I got your work up here. Now, there's the back. I think this looks great. I love this idea for a timeline. That the handwritten almost looks like a doctor was writing right on the ECG. That's so cool. One of the things I would recommend though is you got these at different, you're skewing these at different angles, and I understand why. I get it. But I think for the sake of presentation, I would look how much better this looks. And I understand you're trying to go for that kind of like handwritten kind of doctor kind of slanted thing. And I get that. I get that. But I just really think straightening those out is going to help tremendously. I think that the viewer will definitely get that handwritten thing, especially with these little these little markers here. That was smart. That was smart. Okay, so the one thing though that is that's really super inconsistent and isn't making sense is that we see the chronology, sure, but you know what? This is the only entry where you've added a year. I think you should put a year on each one of these because right now you're just saying this happened first or in 19. I'm not sure what that says. There's no PDF, so I can't get in there. I think is it 1860? 1860, 40, 60. Yeah, I guess that would be 1860. Yeah. Okay. So 1860. And then I would go whatever, 1885 and 1890 and whatever, however the years, just slip the years in just like that. It will make so much more sense. I think it's a smart idea. Okay. Okay. Now the type here I think is good. I think your line length is good. Your character counts are good. Your rags are starting to form some patterns. We don't want that. See that right there? See how that's pointing that way? You don't want that. You've got some patterns here. So that dent right there in your right margin, it actually goes like this. You can see a dent right in. You can see a little whoop, a little wave right there. Okay, and then here you've got another little wave. Whoop. You don't want those. Your rags, you want to be this. You want to be long, short, long, short. Let me find a good series of rags. This right here is a good series of rags. Basically, it's something like that. That's long, short, and then end. That's fine. But here, that's short, longer, longer. So it's forming a pattern. One of the things I think that your leading is too. You need to open up your leading here. And here's a really perfect example. I can't really show you. I have to kind of circle it because I can't zoom in. But right here, your cap line is actually touching your descenders of the line above. They're actually touching. So that's just a rock solid indication that your leading is too tight. So I would open up the leading on that. Kerning seems to be okay, so you're good there. This typeface has got I don't know what this typeface is, but it's got an enormous X height and really, really tiny, tiny cap height. So it's difficult to read. It reads like a bold typeface. I don't know if it is or not, but it certainly reads like one. I think it's too heavy on the page. I do. I would go with something a little bit lighter, so that doesn't have that giant X height with the tiny, tiny little cap height. So the letters are a little difficult to make out. Now listen, I'm going to say this. And I'm going to point at myself on this because I'm the one that directed you in this. But I'm just seeing too much of a disconnect between the front and the back. I love the back. I love the old-fashioned feel. I just love it. I think this is a little wonky right here. The way that's kind of word wrapped there, but the rags are just, that negative space there. It's just two different things. They're not the same. Therefore, they're creating some visual tension. I would recommend you rethink the configuration and the placement of the image. I thought that using the electronic ECG for the front and then the manual paper ECG for the back would be a cool juxtaposition, John. But I'm not seeing it. I just don't see it working. Do you? Do you like it? If you do, stick with it. But I'm just thinking that this is going to be dynamic. I would go back to it. I would go back to it. And the other thing is that the name is just not there yet. It's, as a designer, one designer looking at another designer's work, it would say, it's very obvious that you slipped the last name in there because it's illegible here. So that points to work with this, make it readable. This is clearly readable. The E is off a little bit. Go ahead and slip, take some liberties with your type on this ECG. And make it say Willem Einthoven. Okay, right now it says EINTH, and then it just gets lost. So I know you can do this. I'm certain of it. But again, I would like to see it back on that regular graph paper. Your call, though. I'm not saying you have to do it. You've done a fantastic job with the poster. I can't believe how far it's going. This is gorgeous. This is a fantastic idea. Timeline's a home run. So think about it. Think about it. I don't know what kind of work you have this week in front of you, or if you can go back to this. No, the other option is somehow trying to fit something from here on to the back. That color green, maybe. Tough to say. Really, really tough to say. So I think there's a little bit of work left in getting a nice visual harmony between the front and the back of the poster. And again, if you feel it, go ahead, go for it. If you're okay with this, I am too. I'll be fine with it. Don't worry about it not working well. It does work well. It definitely works. I just think that we can, for portfolio's sake, I think we can tighten this up a little bit. So, and then the other thing is the E. The E is just really just clearly placed. It's different than everything else here. It's got the double stroke, the no fill. It's very geometric, whereas these are more angular, where this is really squared off. So this is different than the rest. Therefore, I would say change that to make it more the same as the rest that's there. All right, that's what I have. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free. Please, yeah, absolutely, let me know. Just notice one more thing. You got some alignment right over here. So this, I think, would make sense if this were to align with the blip. I do. I think that would make sense. Well, you got this built-in grid line right here. It's almost showing that blip right there. So there's a great indicator, right? All right, great job, man. Any questions? Let me know. Thank you.